Good morning. Friday, September 20th, 2024. I'm Larissa. It's my video diary, and it's time. It's time to drink some skulls. So, yesterday, got some work done, and it was a stressful day. Yesterday was a stressful day. It was. So, I have left the situation I was in before, right? Where my business was located because of address discrepancy and problems with mail delivery. And now there is some issue at the new place. It's kind of reversed. See, there's an upstairs unit and a downstairs unit. I'm just grateful that this time the building I'm in only has 2 units and not, 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever. This time, somebody else's mail was delivered to me, and I don't know this person, and they don't use their real names when they introduce themselves to people, and there's a language barrier, and I'm just not comfortable currying other people's mail, and this shouldn't be a problem, right? It can be remedied. I can't remedy it. It has to be remedied by a property manager slash or the owner slash owner. But it has to be done. And just going back and forth about it. And it's stressful because the other business that it involves is a business that I've been a patron of for 4 years. And now I don't feel comfortable going to them for services, and it's hard. It's upsetting because if it hadn't been for the services that they offered and that they delivered to me, I might not have the mobility that I have right now as, you know, and I just don't understand why it is problematic for me to set this boundary that I don't want to deal with their mail, right? So hopefully this is going to get remedied. But I've got my applications in for all of my appropriate permits, and that's all done and out of the way, and I got my Comcast stuff all resolved, and that's all out of the way, which all feels good, and I got my first partnership, um, for package partnership all organized, and I have a couple more meetings coming up, and things are shaping really well, and I'm feeling good about that. I just hope all of this other stuff gets taken care of. Oh my God. And Brody was a Pucosaurus again last night, and it stunk really bad, so I don't know what the hell. It stunk so bad that even Omar went, ew. Like, it's not that he loves vomit or anything, but, he has a much stronger stomach when it comes to certain smells than I do. Anyway, he doesn't have as sensitive a sense of smell as I do. He never has. And it was so bad that even he was like, "Ooh," last night. Yeah. Ugh. So yeah. Yesterday I took I take a liver and kidney support, and I have done that for a long time because of being drugged, right? And those things are really, really hard on those organs. And yesterday I took extra. Um, usually I take 1 or 2 capsules. It's herbal stuff. It's not, you know. And yesterday I took 3 capsules, and I did that because of doing the hot yoga and processing more through my system, right? As I sweat like that. So, uh, I don't know. I think I need to start drinking the dandelion root tea again during the days. And I might go back. The thing with the dandelion root tea is, you can only drink it like 1 week on, 1 week off kind of thing because it's strong, and I don't wanna be too harsh on, you know, detoxing, whatever. But this morning, I could smell that I'd taken that supplement extra of the supplement. Like my body released something, and in the middle of it was interesting because when he threw up, like I was awake. Um, I mean, I wasn't like I was roused because I had woken up and I had some discomfort. And um, I was giving myself Reiki. I had given myself Reiki. And then after he threw up, my discomfort went away. So I don't know if I was feeling him or if he was feeling me. I think it was probably more of a case that I was feeling him. I don't know. But I took that extra supplement yesterday, and then this morning when I went pee, I could smell it. I could smell that something that had released. So we'll see. We'll see how things keep going. I'm anticipating at some point in the near future there to be headaches because that's what happened last time I went through detoxing after being poisoned. For a while, I dealt with some bad headaches. So we'll see. We'll see. Mm, yeah. Mm. Oh my goodness, news is all crazy. So, like, I don't know, like people talking about Springfield, Ohio, and Haitian immigrants and cats and dogs and all this shit, and it's just like, all right, if media outlets are going to continue to talk about this, I said my piece about what I thought about it. Like, I'm not there, so I can't speak to the accuracy, and it's hard to trust media on anything. So, like, just because I hear a story about something, how much of it is true is kind of unknowable unless you're actually there. And so, like, all of these popular um, channels that keep talking about it. And this is funny. There's this funny song. There's this funny rap song about it. Eating the dogs, eating the cats. It's funny. The song is. It's tongue in cheek. I mean, people. I think some people need to, if they're going to continue to talk about it, they need to go there and interview people themselves. Like I saw Hodge Twins this morning released a video talking about it, you know, reacting to some other woman's video. It's like, dudes, go see. You know, you guys got the resources to do that, right? I'm kind of over seeing all the reaction videos. That's such a weird thing. It's like, oh, I watched this and I'm going to talk about watching this. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, like, what have we come to? This is like bizarre whisper down the lane. You guys have fucking resources? Go out there. Yeah, a really good show. Go out there. Go out there and report on it. Go find that woman. Go find the neighborhood. I'm sure you guys could go out there with a camera crew and be like, "Hey, hey, we're the Hodge twins, hey," right? I'm laughing at you guys, not at people who might be suffering about this. Because then there was also a story I saw where JD Vance was saying that he made it up. So it's just like, oh, what is going on? It's so weird. And then I saw the Jimmy Kimmel clip where they stop people on the street and make up some bizarre story and like, do you think so and so should be punished for blah 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 blah? And they're like, oh yeah. They're like, oh, when'd you hear about it? Oh well, it was on Twitter and blah blah blah. It's like it's a totally made up story. They just made it up on the spot, right? But people are so inclined to want to um, please and be I don't know, be in some sort of like to be featured in some sort of like, TV or whatever. It's so weird. I've never been like that. I've never been like that. It's like the industry is really sick. It really, really, really is. Like I got really turned off of the entertainment industry when after doing extra work, right? So I had registered with SF Casting, which is like Central Casting down in LA, and just it was it was so gross. Even like I was paid to be extra on the set for San Andreas Fault. That was like the biggest name thing that I was called for. Or a couple TV shows and stuff too. And as far as I know, I don't believe I ever got any screen time. But a lot of people don't. You go and there's just like thousands of people sitting around. I found the whole thing so distasteful. I didn't want to do it anymore, right? Like if you get in as an extra, that's decent money for sitting around on your ass all day and chatting with strangers most of the time, right? Um, I didn't want to do it. There's so much moral and ethical ambiguity on those sets. Mm-mm. I quit. I quit, you know? Ugh. And they say Sean Combs is on suicide watch. Of course he is. All these people come out. There again, like I never was in that circle, but they say that there's one woman who's come forward from Detroit, or one person, I don't know, this is a woman, that's come forward from Detroit who he flew out to New York when she was underage. And I remember in the 90s, when we were going to shows and stuff, those were sleazy, sleazy times. Now, the one show where there was an issue, right? The only show I went to where there was an issue and recognized it right away and I wasn't interested and we left. Um, was we went to see Luscious Jackson. That's a girl band, and they had a reggae band that opened for them. And afterwards, bouncers asked us if we wanted to meet Luscious Jackson, and we were like, hell yeah! So we got to meet them, after the show, and the reggae band was there, and those guys were trying real hard to get us on their bus. And I was just like, no way. I am not interested. Not interested in the least, you know? Mm-mm. 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 But that's like common. That was always common. And you'd hear stories like being in that circle because I knew a lot of bouncers. I knew a lot of bouncers in the Detroit area in the 90s, and they knew me, I mean, me and my friends, we frequented all the clubs, And, they knew us. We danced, um, and we didn't drink and we didn't make trouble. So we got in wherever we wanted to get in. And things that you heard that shit all the time. Everybody made jokes about Sean Combs, not like making fun of him, but like, you know, just kind of like comments about, his party and his entourage and getting caught up in his shit. And, like everybody talked about it. Everybody talked about it. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for them to find, well, I don't know. Maybe it won't be hard to find an impartial jury. I don't know. I know I couldn't sit on his jury because I'm a sexual assault survivor. Um, I am disgusted by the music industry, and I heard stuff about him in the since the 90s. Like, I couldn't be impartial. I mean, he's already convicted in my head, which, that's not fair for anyone. That's like against the American system. But, in that case, that's the way I feel. I could never sit on his jury. But the stuff about Justin Bieber, I'm not into Justin Bieber's music. It's not my style, whatever. Um, but I feel for the little boy that was corrupted, or, abused. And there was a big shift, and there for a while, like, remember he made a couple jokes or comments or something on Twitter at one point. This was a number of years ago, like 8 years ago or something, and like he got dragged through the dirt for being called racist or whatever. He made some There was some comment about Anne Frank, and he'd gone to the Anne Frank house and was like, oh, had written in the guest book, if Anne Frank were still alive, I bet she'd be a believer. Like, there was something ridiculous about that. And then there was some joke that he made on The View or something that people were like, "Oh, he's racist." He said something about black people or something on Twitter. I don't know, but I think it may have come back to what had happened to him with Sean Combs. Because that story, that's just terrible. That's just, young people are so vulnerable, and the industry is so exploitive. Yeah, yuckapoo. Yuckapoo. I hope for people who come forward with stories that they don't embellish, um, because I as from my perspective, I as a sexual assault survivor, like, I wouldn't embellish any of my stories, right? Like, what the truth is horrible enough. Like, I don't need to add anything extra to it. Um, and people who make that stuff up, I think that's terrible, right? I think it's terrible. So, anyway, I saw somebody this morning saying, "Oh, stuff with Sean Combs, it's not stuff with P Diddy, things with Diddy could bring down the music industry." Good. I hope it does. I hope it does, because the music industry across the board is corrupt, and it's not about music. It's about money, 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 and coercive control because of that money, right? Mm. Mm. Wow. Talking about music and all this stuff, and Karen Carpenter comes in my head. I want to be like, oh, you can't stand Karen Carpenter. I love Karen Carpenter music. I do. I love it. She has such a beautiful voice. There was a man, a lonely man, who lost his love through his indifference. A heart that cared, that went unshared until it died in his silence. and solitaire's the only game in town. And every road that takes him down. And by himself it's easy to pretend he'll never love again. And keeping to himself, he plays the game. Without her love, it always ends the same. While life goes on around him everywhere, he's playing solitaire. Such a beautiful song. Sad song, huh? Sung blue, everybody knows one. Anyway. A little hope goes up in smoke. Just how it goes without saying. There was a man, a lonely man, who would command the hand he's playing. And solitaire's the only game in town, and every road that takes him down. And by himself it's easy to pretend he'll never love again. And keeping to himself he plays the game. Without her love it always ends the same. While life goes on around him everywhere, he's playing solitaire. Oh my goodness. That Karen Carpenter. Love her music. So much fun to sing. It is. Wish the music industry wasn't so filthy. Because music is such a beautiful thing. It really is. Oh, I had Ubi Caritas stuck in my head the other day. There was this really beautiful arrangement of Ubi Caritas that I got to sing with choir at the cathedral. So pretty. It was like ocean waves. I've been listening to ocean waves at night, to sleep. And I think that's why, because that piece, that's what I was whenever we do that piece, that's what I imagined was the surf. Ubi caritas et amor, deus ibi est, congregavire anunum Christu vivum. It was a really pretty piece. Really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. It was like 5-part harmony, 5 or 6-part harmony. It was really beautiful. Yeah. But it was like ocean waves. The way it was metered. Ubi Caritas. Anyway, I gotta get moving. I gotta shower and wash my dirty ass.